Let's be honest, most men completely misunderstand what makes a woman actually want them. They think it's about looks alone, or money, or sweet words, or endless attention. So, they keep trying harder and harder, pouring out energy, texting too much, buying things they can't afford, bending over backwards just to make her notice them. And what happens? She gets bored. She gets distant. She starts seeing him as just another man who's desperate for her approval. The truth is simple. You cannot convince a woman to want you with effort alone. You cannot force her into attraction, but you can create it even when she wasn't interested at first. You can shift her feelings by understanding the psychology that drives her choices. See, attraction isn't logical. It's emotional. Women don't sit down with a checklist and say, "He's perfect. I'll fall for him." Instead, they feel pulled toward men who give off certain signals of strength, confidence, self-respect, purpose, and mystery. A woman can go from not even looking at you to suddenly wondering why she can't stop thinking about you, simply because you change the way you show up. And that's what most men never figure out. They chase when they should attract. They give too much when they should hold back. They seek approval when they should lead with value. What you need to understand is this. Women don't want to be convinced. They want to be drawn in. They want to feel something around you that they can't easily explain. That's why the men who appear calm, confident, and untouchable often win her interest, while the ones who try too hard get pushed away. It's not about playing games. It's about shifting your mindset from needing her to respecting yourself first. Because the moment you stop trying to win her and instead live in a way that makes her want to win you, everything changes. This is where female psychology comes in. The little signs, the subtle shifts in her behavior, the way she responds when she feels your energy differently. All of these are clues that tell you whether you're making her want you or pushing her away. And once you know them, once you embody them, you'll realize it's not about chasing love. It's about becoming the kind of man she feels she can't afford to lose. Even when at first she didn't even notice. You stop chasing, start attracting. Here's the first and most powerful truth you need to understand. You cannot chase a woman into wanting you. The more you run after her, the more she runs away. It's human nature. Think about it. When something is always available, when it's always calling, texting, checking in, begging for attention, what happens? You start to take it for granted. You stop valuing it. That's exactly how women feel when a man tries too hard. The problem isn't that you're showing interest. The problem is that you're showing too much, and it makes her feel like she already has you without putting in any effort. And what requires no effort is rarely respected. So, how do you flip the script? You stop chasing and start attracting. Attraction is not about proving to her that you're good enough. It's about becoming a man who doesn't need to prove anything. It's about walking into a room with calm confidence, knowing you don't need validation from anyone, including her. That energy alone is magnetic. Women sense it instantly. They may not be interested at first, but when they see you don't break yourself, trying to win them over, curiosity begins. You see, a man who chases tells her, "You're above me." A man who attracts tells her, "I'm already enough. If you want to be part of this, good. If not, I'll keep moving." That shift changes everything. Suddenly, the power dynamic tilts. She realizes she can't control you with distance, silence, or games. And that makes you stand out because most men fail this test. They beg, they double text, they panic when she pulls away. But the man who holds his ground, he's the one she begins to want. Attraction begins when you stop chasing. Remember this. A woman doesn't fall for the man who runs after her. She falls for the man who makes her wonder if she can catch him. Don't reveal everything. One of the biggest mistakes men make when they like a woman is putting their whole life story on the table immediately. They text too much. They overshare. They let her know every detail about where they're, what they're doing, and what they're feeling. At first, it seems like honesty, but in reality, it destroys the spark of curiosity. And here's the truth about human psychology. We are drawn to what we don't fully understand. Women especially feel attraction when there's something left to figure out, when you are not fully predictable, when she has to wonder about you. Mystery doesn't mean you lie. Mystery doesn't mean you play childish games. It simply means you don't give everything away for free. If she asks what you're up to, you don't need to send a 10-paragraph essay about your day. A simple, confident answer is enough. If she's curious, let her ask more. That's the point. She should want to know more. She should feel like every time she talks to you, there's another layer, another depth, another side she hasn't discovered yet. That's what makes her think about you when you're not around. Think about the men she's used to dealing with. Most of them flood her with attention, reveal all their insecurities, and desperately try to show how different they are. But the man who doesn't hand over his entire soul on day one stands out. He keeps her on her toes. She doesn't know exactly what he's thinking, what he's planning, or where he's going next. That unpredictability keeps her invested because she wants to solve the puzzle. And once her mind is hooked, her emotions follow. Attraction thrives in mystery. Don't be the man who lays out his entire world in front of her, begging for validation. Be the man who gives her just enough to stay interested, but never enough to feel like she completely owns your attention. When she has to guess, when she has to wonder, that's when she begins to want you, even if she didn't at first. 3. Confidence speaks louder than words. If there's one thing that flips a woman's perception faster than anything else, it's confidence. Not the loud, fake kind that tries too hard. Not the arrogance that puts others down. I'm talking about the quiet, steady confidence that comes from knowing your value, no matter who's in front of you. Even if she wasn't interested at first, confidence can change her entire perspective. Why? Because deep down, women are wired to respect and admire men who trust themselves. Confidence isn't about bragging. It's in the little things. It's the way you stand upright, shoulders relaxed, not shrinking into yourself. It's the way you talk. Calm, clear, without rushing your words just to impress. It's the way you look at her. Steady eye contact without flinching, or nervously looking away. These small signals add up in her mind. She begins to feel that you are different from the usual crowd of men who stumble over their words and second guesses themselves. Even if she thought she wasn't interested before, now she's curious. Here's the key. Real confidence doesn't come from trying to impress her. It comes from living a life that already gives you pride. If you're improving your body, building your career, pursuing your goals, and pushing yourself daily, that creates an inner strength you don't have to fake. Women can sense this. She may not consciously think he's confident because he has discipline, but she will feel it in how you carry yourself. That's why confidence can't be faked long-term. It has to be built. Confidence speaks before you even open your mouth. It tells her you're secure, you're in control, and you know your worth. And once she sees that, even if she wasn't interested at first, her mind begins to shift purpose, not neediness. One of the strongest forces that makes a woman shift from not interested to want him is seeing a man with purpose. Purpose is that inner drive, that direction, that sense that you know where you're going in life. Women are not attracted to men who orbit around them with no identity of their own. They may enjoy the attention, but they don't feel pulled in by it. Here's why this matters. When a man is needy, everything about him screams desperation. He texts you often. He tries to fill his empty time with her presence. He makes her the center of his world before she's even given him a place in hers. That might seem romantic in movies, but in real life it makes her lose respect. Because neediness isn't love, it's insecurity, and women can feel it instantly. Master emotional control. If you want to flip a woman's interest, you must learn the art of emotional control. Women are constantly testing not just what you say, but how you react. They want to see if you're easily shaken, if you lose your cool, if you get desperate when things don't go your way. Nothing kills attraction faster than a man who cannot control his emotions. Think about it. When she ignores a text, most men panic. They send another message, then another asking if she's mad, demanding attention. When she teases them, they get defensive and insecure. When she pulls away, they chase harder. All of this screams weakness. But the man who stays calm, who doesn't overreact, who doesn't fold under the pressure, that man stands out. Suddenly she sees him as someone who cannot be controlled by mood swings or games. Emotional control also shows up in how you handle yourself in daily life. Stress at work, challenges in your goals, disagreements with people. If you explode at every obstacle, she sees you as unstable. But if you stay composed, if you move through problems with calm strength, it creates a sense of security around you. And that's what women truly crave. A man who makes them feel safe. Not because he shouts louder, but because he stands stronger. When you master this, Even a woman who wasn't interested at first will start to feel drawn in. Because deep down, she wants a man who can lead not just with his words, but with his presence. Give her space to miss you. Here's something most men never understand. If you want a woman to want you, you have to give her space to feel your absence. Constantly being around her, texting her every hour, or always making yourself available does not create attraction. It creates comfort, and comfort without desire kills the spark. Women are emotional creatures, and their feelings grow in the gaps you leave, not in the constant presence you give. If she's not interested at first, flooding her with attention will only confirm that you're too easy to get. But when you pull back just enough, when you let her feel your silence, her mind starts to wander. She notices the lack of your energy. She wonders why you're not chasing like other men. That contrast flips the script. Suddenly, she's the one thinking about you. Giving space doesn't mean ghosting her or playing immature games. It means you respect yourself enough to not smother her with constant validation-seeking behavior. You allow her to breathe, to reflect, to feel the weight of your absence. That's when she starts to miss you, even if she didn't care much at the beginning. Men who don't understand this principle ruin it for themselves. They bombard her with calls, chase after her when she pulls away, and in doing so suffocate any chance of attraction. But the man who gives space wisely, he triggers curiosity, longing, and eventually desire. Because nothing makes a woman want you more than realizing she misses what she once took lightly. Aloo, not approval. Here's the final and perhaps most important piece. If you want a woman to want you, especially when she wasn't interested at first, you must lead with value instead of chasing her approval. Most men get this backwards. They think, if I agree with everything she says, if I shower her with compliments, if I make her feel like a queen from the start, she'll want me. But in reality, that approach makes her see you as just another guy trying too hard. Approval seeking is the fastest way to kill attraction. Value, on the other hand, is different. Leading with value means you bring something real to the table that improves her life, her emotions, or her experiences without begging for validation in return. It's in how you carry yourself, how you treat people around you, how you live your life with standards. Value also means you know your worth. You don't tolerate disrespect. You don't rearrange your entire life for a woman who hasn't earned that position yet. You don't allow yourself to be someone's second choice. When you live with that kind of self-respect, she notices. Even if she wasn't interested at the beginning, she starts to feel it. This man isn't like the others. Attraction isn't about tricks or fake lines. It's about who you are and what you bring. When you stop chasing her approval and start living in a way that radiates value, even the woman who didn't notice you before will begin to feel it. The pull, the curiosity, the desire, and once she feels that, the game changes. Conclusion. At the end of the day, making a woman want you, even when she wasn't interested at first, is not about tricks, fake lines, or playing endless games. It's about who you choose to become and the energy you carry into every interaction. Women can sense desperation instantly. They can also sense strength instantly. That's why the man who chases, begs, and needs her attention rarely wins. But the man who holds himself with confidence, who has purpose, who gives space, and who never compromises his self-respect, that's the man who shifts her entire perspective. Remember this truth. Attraction is built, not forced. A woman doesn't suddenly decide she wants you because you sent her 10 messages in a row or because you tried to buy her attention. She begins to want you when she realizes you are not like the others. When she feels that your presence improves her world, but your absence is also powerful. When she sees that you don't need her approval, but you still choose to share your energy with her. So stop asking, how do I make her like me? And start asking, how do I become the man she cannot ignore? Because when you master yourself, your confidence, your emotional control, your purpose, your value, you don't need to convince any woman. They will feel it. They will notice it. And even the one who didn't see you before will start to wonder why she can't get you out of her head. That's not magic. That's psychology. That's attraction. And that's how you make any woman want you.